It's dark. It looks dark for some reason. Okay. Oh, hello everyone. Yes, guys, I'm live. I'm getting it set up a little bit because it seems kind of dark in here today. I'm trying to see if I need to open my blind. Oh, guys, I got my ring light. Got my blind, so trying to see exactly what's going on. Okay, that is brightening me out. But hello, everyone, and thanks for coming to my live. So I'm ready to see if anyone's going to come in. So, guys, I'm getting it together. That's a little dark too. Oh, that might be better. Okay. So, hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in. Guys, on today, I will be talking about becoming a caregiver and how I became a caregiver. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm looking a little dark, so I'm taking the glass off. Maybe that'll help. I'm going to turn this way a little bit so I'm not so dark. So, guys, on today, I was going to come on, and today I'm going to be talking about becoming a caregiver and how I ended up becoming a caregiver. As you may have heard me. Hello, Phyllis. How are you? Hello. So, guys, I was coming on to talk about becoming a caregiver. And so, first things first, how did I become a caregiver? And the way that I became a caregiver is through my daughter. My daughter is Karen, I talk about a lot, and I am her caregiver since she was about 3 years old. And the way that I became a caregiver was when I first gave birth to my daughter, Karen. She was, from the understanding I got, everything was normal. She had a normal birth, but her birth rate was a little off. She was a little small. And, but other than that, to me, she was making her milestones and everything was going good up until I think it was when I moved to New York. I left Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, moved to New York. And I went to New York. When I went to New York, I was working a lot, and my daughter I had put her in, Karen, in daycare. And when I put her in daycare, I ended up finding out from the daycare worker that maybe I need to have her tested because she wasn't making milestones there. But Karen was potty trained at 1. She was taken from the bottle at a good age. To me, she was making all the milestones. She just wasn't talking that much. So with her not speaking as much as she should, she would point to things, but it really didn't alarm me that something was going on. So what I did was when they told me kind of what was going on, at first you want to be honest with everybody and tell them you want to say, no, that's not what's going on. You want to say, that's not what's going on with my child. You want to say, no, that's not what's happening. But to process knowing that you're having a child or you have had a child that is different is very hard sometimes, because when you have a child, we plan that we're going to have that child. They're going to grow up. They're going to leave home one day, and they're going to be able to maintain on their own. But life looks a little different once you realize that you have a child that is different. So for me, life changed from me being the mother of Karen to being a caregiver for her. And then when I moved from New York went back home to my hometown, which is Riviera Beach, Florida. I went back to Riviera Beach. Guys, don't forget to thumbs up the live, please. So once I got home, got settled, kind of figured out what was started to understand what was going on with her. That's when I was able to get the necessary tools to get the help that I needed to be able to raise her. Hey, Tay Wizzy, how are you doing? The champ is here. Yes, thanks for coming in. I was today I was on talking about what to do, everybody. Yeah, it's just a few of them in, so don't forget to thumbs up the live. I'm on talking about how I became a caregiver through taking care of my daughter. And I was just talking about how I found out when I first found out that she did have an issue going on. And then at first, when you find out something different is going on with your children, you usually tend to be more so in denial. So I tell everybody, hey, hello. So I tend to tell everybody, first things first, you're going to be in denial. You're going to deny it. You don't want to say it is what it is. You go through the denial period. You go through trying to figure out why and the reason why this happened to me. What do you mean my child is different? What do you mean my child has an issue? What do you really mean? So for me, life looked a little different after that. So just trying to explain how I became the caregiver of her. I became the caregiver because I'm the mother, but I'm also the caregiver who does 90% of everything for her. Like I tell everyone, when she was born, I didn't notice anything different about Karen. As a matter of fact, the only thing different for her was her weight was she was kind of small. But other than that, she reached all her milestones. She was potty trained at a year. She was off the bottle. She was doing really good. She just wasn't. How old was she when she was diagnosed? Okay, she was about 3. Once I got all the diagnoses in, she was about 3 years old when I found out. And I was in New York. And like I said, the teacher who was teaching her in a daycare pulled me aside, and she was able to talk to me and tell me, something's not, she's not learning the way she should be learning. And like I tell everyone, the first thing you're going to do, you're going to deny it. You're going to go through the denial process. You're going to, not going to know how to process it. It's not something you can just sit down and process in one day. And back then it was like when people had kids and had an issue, it was more mainly the older women that kind of had issues. They say, well, she had a child, they were too old to have a child or something like that. But now today we see a lot of kids with different type of disabilities. But my daughter, I'm just explaining what happened to me. When I came from New York, I didn't have the tools like they have now, where you have to come in and tell you. I had a teacher to tell me something was going on, that she wasn't, at the level where she needed to be. And I knew that my daughter, she did not verbally tell you things. She would point at things if she wanted it. That's about the only thing I noticed that was different about her than my other kids. But after finding out she had an issue, I made sure to come back home so I could find out how to get the help I needed. So I had to literally search when I came home and find where I needed to take her to have her diagnosed. So finally, after making so many different calls and talking to different people, they were able to send me to the ARC, which I was like, wait a minute, and the ARC is for the Association for Retarded Children. And I was like, no, because back then in the day, it was like, they're retarded. Something, they would say different things like that. But they've changed all that. Thank God, they've changed a lot of it today. But they were, that's what they would call them back in the day. So they don't use that anymore. And even when my daughter got diagnosed, her diagnosis was a little different because they put her under the mental, they diagnosed her as mentally handicapped, which means she's educatable, but she's mentally handicapped. So that's the way they do the exceptionality is different now. As a matter of fact, I was looking at some of her paperwork. When they first did it, I would not allow her to be, because I was devastated and upset as a parent, I would not allow my daughter to be labeled mentally handicapped. I let them put her under the PSAS because they said she wasn't speaking, so we already knew she had a language problem. So in knowing that she had the language issue and she had some issues with her fingers where she could not, she wasn't using them properly, or she wasn't, they were bent a little bit. So in knowing that fact, so I was able to get her into her program with just saying that she had to have speech therapy and she had to have physical therapy. So my daughter had speech therapy and physical therapy for years. I took her to the clinic where they sent me to the clinic also, where a doctor saw her and looked at her whole body and everything and just really did a real good checkup on her so that they could check to see exactly what was going on. And that's when we noticed the fingers and weren't, they were growing improperly. So that's why they went ahead and put her in under the therapy part, because she would have to have therapy. And when I came home, I didn't understand or know everything that was going with my daughter until I got back home and I was able to take her to different doctors, and they were constantly telling me things she would never do, and I also had to take her to therapy like 3 times, 2 to 3 times a week. Karen would go to therapy. And as she went to the therapy, she started to get better. She started to speak better. But the thing about it, most people don't know is when you take a child with special needs and they put them in a class all together. They put them all. Even though they have different exceptionalities, they are all put in. They're all put. Karen Ambrose said, "Thank you for sharing. Nice has been that nice. My niece has been diagnosed with autism, and I think we are in denial stage, but I am supporting her parents to accept and get early intervention service." Yes, my just so you know, my granddaughter diagnosed with she has autism too. So the thing about it is trying to get you have is I thank you. I just want to thank you for being super supportive for them, because we go through the denial period, and the denial period, we don't know when we're going to, and I'm looking down a little bit because we don't know when we're going to get over not knowing that the child has an issue. So the biggest thing is trying to get past that. And as a parent, you're still trying to process life for that child, how people are going to treat the child. And that's what's very important to me, because I've seen a lot of things happen to children that are, you see more in society. A lot of kids are being diagnosed with the autism, and it's on so many different levels, because with the autism, when them being artistic, it's they're on a from they're on a spectrum. They call it a spectrum because it's different levels of it. But for me, with my daughter, I finally allowed them to label her maybe 2 years in, after she was diagnosed at 3, because I got back here around, she was about 3 to 4 years old. She was placed in school right away, because the system, if you're going through the public school system, which is the best thing for them, which a lot of people don't like to do, but the public school system is going, they have certain rights for our kids. And that's why, I kept her in the public system, because there's sometimes you want to pull them back and put them into more of a private if you can afford it. Well, for me, I had cousins that were teachers. So they were like, no, we talked, I shared things. And yeah, to me, a lot of it was very, very at first embarrassing, because it's like, you have a kid that's different, and everybody isn't going to accept that child, and everybody won't want to be around you because you have a child that's different. And it's very hard, especially at first when you find out, and then to know that you are the caregiver for that child for the rest of the duration of their life, unless you go ahead and put them in the system. It's a lot of people that go ahead and put those children in the system, and that's just not what I wanted for my child, my daughter. I think I took an earring out. So that's not really what I wanted for Karen. I knew I wasn't ever going to put her in the system. And as you're going through, you have different times when, like, these are some sheets I just picked up out of my notes, because, well, not at notes, I carry paperwork on her, and I go back to remind myself what she's passed through, because Karen is 31, but she was diagnosed at like 3 to 4, and she's always been in special needs classes. Karen has 2 diplomas. She has a regular diploma when she went to school. Then she had a diploma from the Goodwill too. So Karen technically has two diplomas. And when she first started out, it was rough, but I thank God that I was blessed with good teachers. And I was very open and honest. I talked to them. I let them know because I had to work because I was a single parent. So I had to work to take care of her and my other daughter. So when I came back home, I just focused more so on doing what I had to do for her, taking care of her, and putting her needs first. And that was the most important thing for me, getting her the help that she needed. And it was not easy because back in the day, it was very, very hard to get the necessary help you need for them because you had to search and find and find and find, and you did not know. Even the financial part of it, they don't really tell you about when you have a child, how to get the help, the Social Security, the other medical benefits that you are able to get. A lot of people really don't talk about that part. And it was like maybe 4 or 5 years before I found out, which I had a friend who was like, okay, what's going on? She knew me and she was able to come in and talk to me and tell me some things I needed to do in order that I could get the necessary help I did, because you would see people bringing their children to school, and these women, you're like, wow, they don't have jobs, they don't have none of this going on. You know what I mean? So so a lot of people didn't want to they didn't want to talk about it. They don't want to tell you how to get the help that you need. So I had a friend that kind of told me how to get the financial part so that I would be able to do some things differently in order to rear her and take care of her. So I ended up, it took me about 2 years, about a year to get everything straight. They placed her in school at 3. Karen was placed in school at 3. She would go to classes, and Karen was also labeled a mimicker. Karen could mimic, everything that was going on in the class, just about. Even if the teacher left out, she could mimic the kids that did sign language, that did different things, autistic, the ones that did different things, she could mimic them. She was a mimicker because she would watch people, and she's still that way now. She'll mimic what you see. So in teaching her, you have to remember, you have to teach her and know that she's trainable. They are trainable, and I don't know the artistic piece, but I'm saying with my daughter, the label that she had is because she's educationally, mentally handicapped, but also in her paperwork, she's trainable, which means they can train them to do a lot of things that they need to do for themselves. But at first, when I first found out, what I'm talking about is like the devastation of knowing you're trying to figure out what life's going to be like. You're thinking about how people are going to treat you. You're thinking about your friends. You're thinking about your family members. And you just don't really want to share, what's going on in your life at that time. You kind of back from everybody. You kind of, and it's so sad to say, you in a way you feel so like embarrassed. You're loving your child, but you're embarrassed like for the situation that you're going through. So, and you like don't know who you want to talk to or tell what's going on. And, with the artistic piece, some are verbal, some are nonverbal. So it's so many levels to disabilities when you have a child with a disability. And then that's how I became the caregiver. I am the primary caregiver of my daughter. I've been taking care of her since she was, 3 years old and got diagnosed. I worked. And yes, it was not easy at all trying to raise her to where she is now. It has been very difficult because people look at you a little differently when you're out and about. My daughter can't read, she can't write. And if she writes her name, you have to write it for her, and then she can write it. She's very witty. She has a beautiful personality at times until, she gets a little mad and she gets an attitude, which is normal people. But like I tell people, she now she goes out 4 to 5 days a week so that she can be with people that are like her. That was very important for me as raising her. I wanted her to know the difference between right and wrong because they do understand it. And I always try to teach her the difference between right and wrong, how to treat people, how you want to be treated, and just being okay with being who you are, because they're going to hear people talking around them about them, and the people don't even realize what they're doing. Even in school situations with my daughter, I trained my daughter in such a way that she could come back and tell people tell me what was going on. Sometimes she can't explain it the way she needs to explain it, but she was able to tell me what was going on and how she was being treated. And as you got to remember, we got a lot of kids here nowadays. They can't tell you how they're being treated. They don't know how to express that to you and tell you what they're going through in the school system and what's going on with them. So we have a lot of it. It's rain. So it's raining now. We have a lot of that going on. But all I can say is anyone that has someone that has a child that's, having some issues, difficulties, or being labeled, or have the artistic piece, the special needs piece, just try to be there for them as much as you can. That's very important that you be there and try to be there to help them as they're navigating and going through the system to get the help they need. Because sometimes for us, it's harder to get the help we need to take care of our children. But for me, the hardest part was for me when I would go through and look at the paperwork here, and I highlighted some of the things I wanted to talk about, which was some of the pieces to talk about, which is they do test them, and every so often they go in and test them again. Karen was tested at like when she was like 4, when she first went into the program, and they keep them in a program. They set up an IEP for them, and that IEP follows them the rest of their life. It's like it's like a journal that tells you exactly what they're expecting for the kids to do, and what they're expecting, their expectations for them. And they still have that implemented in the school system, because when I was with my daughter recently, they went over my granddaughter's IEP. My granddaughter went into the program, like I said, and she's with a lot of kids that have the same exceptionality as her. And what they do is they log them all together. So what they were doing with my granddaughter, they were mainstreaming her out a little bit, because she's able to read, write. She's very verbal, and she doesn't have a problem with the verbal. And she's done everything at a normal age. She just it's the behavior part more so on my granddaughter's part. It's the behavior part. And they're different. They like to do different things. My granddaughter is into the blocks and things like that. She's not into the dolls and all the toys like that. I had to learn certain things. They're into the puppets. They're into different types of things when they have the artistic piece. So you just have to really, I'll tell anybody, you have to really pray about it. Ask God to help you, so that you can be a help me. And sometimes take the child so that they can have the husband or wife or whoever it is can have some time to themselves. Because I'm learning, because I've been doing this for so long, taking care of my daughter for so long and being her caregiver, that it does not get easier. It's rough sometimes, because I have to make sure that my daughter has food. She can't cook or anything like that. She can sometimes put like maybe popcorn or something in the refrigerator or something. The microwave or something like that. But for as cooking, I always, even when I'm not around, not home or anything, and I'm always making sure that she has food and she has what she needs to be able to eat. She has to make sure she has food and stuff. And you got to make sure that, they're taking good care of their hygiene. You have to teach them as they're growing up to take care of their hygiene and taking care of their bodies. And people think, because I had a lot of people say to me when she was younger, well, how are you going to deal with that when she gets older? Because, they're going to have a cycle when they get older and all that, just like normal kids have. They have it, but it's just you got to teach them how to do it. And one lady was like, you should be able to go in and have her fixed so she can't have kids and stuff like that. It's just crazy things you're going to hear people say when you have a child that is different. They will say things like, how do you do it? You're going to have the people that's going to stare at you. You're going to have the people that are looking at you differently. Because when I'm in the store with my daughter now, people look at me because they think she should read. My daughter doesn't look, she has a look, but she doesn't have a look where she looks like she's got an issue. And what it is people take that for granted, because they look at her and think, oh, she's fine, she's okay, but she's not. And when she's in the store, she's looking at me, she'll ask me, different things, because she doesn't know what it is. So she'll ask me, Mom, what's this? And I see people looking. I don't worry about that anymore because she's 31. But as they're small, we tend to worry about a lot of things that they're going through, the way people look at us, the way people, when we go in the store, the way they act, if they're acting different, a lot of people be like, oh my goodness, how, and that's why I say when you're in a store, some people staring, and you don't know when you're staring at a child, you don't know if that child has an issue. It will be the best thing to do is smile and try to give that parent some support and help them if you can, because there are a lot of kids with disabilities that people don't even know they have a disability. And we're just judging people when they're around, judging people when they're in the store, they're around. We're tending to judge them and thinking, okay, we get why kids acting like this. Oh, my kid wouldn't do this. I wouldn't have my child doing this. You really don't know when you're looking at a child in a store or wherever they are, what that parent is going through. And just like I said, I'm going to read, some of this is just telling me, when they do a lot of the testing, and when my daughter was tested, the second time she was tested at 10 years old. And when she was tested at 10 years, they said 10 years, 1 month. But my daughter was very far behind when they tested her. And then they have the label, what they put on background information, that she was educationally mentally handicapped. And they said her difficulties are accepting consequences. And this is stuff you need to keep, because these are things that you're going to see happen as they grow older. And it says she has problems accepting consequences without pouting or talking back. And my daughter still does that because she talks back. And she listens, but she talks back. She's verbal, saying what she has to say and how she's feeling. And it says, Karen, she's able to retain, but very simple directions. You can't give my daughter a lot of directions. You have to direct her, and redirect her. And so with that being said, you have to redirect, and then you have to really watch what they're doing. And then you have to watch the people that are befriending them also, too. But just like I said, she was diagnosed at 3 with the educationally mentally health piece, and she has some other issues going on. And as she's gotten older, a lot of the things they said she would never do, she's able to do, because they would say she would never be able to just function by herself, and they thought she wasn't going to be able to do some other things that she does. She's very I would say she's special needs, but she's able to maintain herself. She's able to take care of herself with help from me, with the assistance of the help. That's why I am the caregiver, to make sure she has what she needs to be able to do what she needs to do, and being able to, say what she has to say. And just like I said, she's had some other things going on. And I was talking about the IEP. They'll have, if they're special needs, they will have an IEP for the rest of their life. I like using the word special needs because they tend to put so many exceptionalities and call them on different fronts, which means they like to keep labeling them. And that's the problem I have with the labeling system. I don't like the part where they label them, because if you look around, it's a lot of kids that have issues going on, but they are able to function. They are trainable where they can do things that they need to do. And that's the biggest piece for me. You have to be able to train them and teach them that they can do things, but also you have to put a confidence in them as they're growing up, that they are able to do things like a normal person. And people don't think about that, but it takes them a little longer to do things that we do. It takes them a little longer. It's about the patience piece, having patience. If you don't have patience, I don't think you should be a caregiver, because it takes a lot of patience to deal with someone who you're taking care of. And sometimes they think that they know more than you. And that's the thing with my daughter going through life. She always felt like, oh, I know what to do. And my daughter, I tried to make her life to where it was, where she was involved in a lot of things. She was in certain things where she could be normalized and be normal. And I thank God for now, when you have the kids that are autistic, they're not pushing the kids away. They're allowing those kids to be able to be in different activities. Now, when my daughter was younger, when my oldest daughter would be in cheerleading, I was trying to get my youngest in cheerleading, and the young lady would never let my younger daughter be in cheering because she felt like that she had a disability, and that wasn't where she should be. But I thank God that things have changed so much now in society and in the world about kids with disabilities. And I was explaining, telling, I let everybody know I am a caregiver. I do take care of her. I am. She used to work, and about 3 years ago, they stopped letting the kids. She worked at Goodwill for like 2 years, and when she worked at Goodwill, that was an outing for her. They would teach them how to do different things, and then what happened was about 2 to 3 years ago, they went ahead and put regular people in the stores. Now you see the special need ones in there, but it's not a lot of work for the special needs kids. And then for me, when my daughter, before COVID hit, she was in a program where she would go Monday through Friday and be with like people, like people like her, that she needed to be able to be around and mingle and be able to coexist, with people that are like. I'm big on my daughter being around people that are like her. I'm big on her being around her family. And mainly that's the biggest supporter for me is my family. I have, family that will take her and spend time with her and see that she is okay. And everyone isn't going to accept them. You must know that. And with me, I have 4 kids. And, everyone doesn't want to take up the time, to spend with that child like you would. So with me, 90% of the time, Karen is either out with her caregiver or she's home with me. And that's how, I'm just letting people know, there's like, I just wanted to let you know what it is like to be a caregiver and to be someone who has to take care of someone other than themselves. And then being that caregiver, we have to, that's why I'm so big on the self care piece, learning to take, as my daughter gets older, it's a little bit easier for me because when they're young, it's very hard. Well, thanks for sharing. I have to go. Go ahead. You're an amazing mom. God bless. Thank you so much. And thank you for coming to the channel. I really appreciate you. So, guys, yeah, I was just still talking about it, talking about having a child that's different and how I became a caregiver and how life is being a caregiver. And, the difficulty of first when you're finding out that you do have a child with a disability and knowing what you as a parent have to take care of, making sure you have certain things lined up as they get older so that you can make the necessary decisions. Like if, for me, I recently had to get some paperwork done for my daughter so that if something happened and she ran away, things like that. It's a lot of things we as parents with children with disabilities have to think about. We have, they're gonna have friends, they're gonna be friend people, and you just have to know who they're befriending and try to be there. But I've had a lot of issues with raising my daughter. She ran away like twice, and that was very hard. And if you don't like here in Port St. Lucie, they're really good. They're going to get the child. But when I was in West Palm, they said, you have to have this paper, that paper. You have to weigh their rights on a lot of things so that you can be able to take care of them. And also with the doctor visits and things of that nature, you have to have the right paperwork in place to take care of them, to do the necessary things that you have to do for them. And being a caregiver, I tell anyone, it's not an easy job. It's fulfilling, but it's not an easy job. And it's not like you can just put it down tomorrow and say, oh, I'm not going to do it, because it doesn't work that way. It's just something you have to get up every morning and have to be ready to deal with. I have to go to bed at night, get up in the morning and deal with the challenges of raising the challenges of dealing with my daughter that is special needs. And it is a challenge each and every day just to be able to get up and make sure she has whatever she needs to make sure she's having a good life, and getting her out with like-minded people. Because before Karen got out, it was very stressful for me because we both would be in the house all day. And I have her doing chores because she has her own bedroom, which means she has to keep the room clean, and she has to make sure that she's doing her laundry, putting her laundry up. And then you have to remind them to make sure that they're taking care of their hygiene and things of that nature. But that's how I became a caregiver, because my daughter, at the age of 3 to 4, she became disabled, which means that's when I learned that she had a disability. And that's what I want to come on today and just talk to you guys and explain a little bit about being a mom with a child with a disability. Hello, Wellness with Frugal. Hello. Thanks for coming in. And thanks for liking. I appreciate you. Like today, I was talking about how I became a caregiver by the way I became a caregiver and how I am managing taking care of Frank Shorts and News. Hey, hello. Thanks for coming in. So, guys, I was sitting here just talking about my daughter Karen, and I talk about her sometimes back and forth. But I was talking about how I became the caregiver for her and how becoming and knowing that you're how I became the caregiver for her. At the age of 3, I found out that my daughter had a disability. And just like I was saying, the acceptance of knowing that you have a child that's different. A lot of people don't like to talk about it, but I try to talk about it so that I can be a help to someone else. And I was talking about how when I first found out the denial piece, and back then when I had my daughter, it was a lot different than it is today, whereas you got tools and things you could do, but I had to literally research and find out places where I could take her to get the help that she needed. And eventually my daughter would have to have physical therapy, and she would have to have she had to have speech therapy. She was put in speech therapy, and she was put in physical therapy. And I would have to take her to that twice, 2 to 3 times a week. And I was also told so many things that she would never be able to do. But I thank God for now she's 31. She's thriving. She's still labeled disabled because she has a mental disability, and she's labeled educally, mentally handicapped, which breaks down as she's trainable, but she's mentally challenged. So that I thank God that they changed a lot of the labels, because back in the day, we all know that they would laugh and talk and be like, "Oh, there's the retarded child," or "There's a child," and ooh, people would make fun of them. That's why I think, I try not to make fun of anyone, because I've been there, and the stares and the looks that you get for having a child that's different, and the way society is set up today. Now we have a lot of people that are having kids now with disabilities like artistic and on the spectrum, and just having a child, raising a child that's different. It is very hard. It is not easy. It is not something you pick up, you put down when you go to bed, and you pick up in the morning. It's a daily challenge to take care of them, being that caregiver. And you know what? Like, and people ask me, concerning the mental health piece. That's why I have to do the mental health piece. It helps me, and I also have to do the wind down Wednesdays, because in the run of a week, dealing with all that you have to deal with raising that child, not just raising, but taking care of them, being the caregiver for that child. And she's not a child, but she's an adult, but they have the child mind, because my daughter's like, maybe, I think they said she's years behind what she should be. And like when she got tested, they even tell you how far they're behind, but she hasn't been tested recently, because they only test them like every 10 to 15 years. And once they test them, they give you all this paperwork and tell you exactly what's going on. And they come in and test them again to make sure that they're still disabled, so that you can keep receiving the help that you need to maintain, to take care of them. But by all means, guys, no matter how much they give you or whatever, it can never supersede the love you have for the job that you do in taking care of a person with special needs, or being a caregiver of an adult parent. Because before my mom passed, I was also helping to rear her, and I mean, not rear, but help take care of her, my sisters and I. So we know about the caregiving piece. And then, it's like I say, I have a sister that's a nurse, and she also train us and tell us different things. So, and my mom was actually the caregiver for my dad for 9 years before he passed. So being a caregiver, one day you may have to end up being a caregiver of your parent, or someone in your family. So I just want to say, it takes a lot of patience. Got to have patience. If you don't have that patience with taking care of them, then you're just out to wonder. And then, just like I say, you must stay on that mental health piece for me, that I can have my sanity. And, because my daughter asks me questions every day. And sometimes you may think the questions that they ask you are just really ridiculous, but it's not. Thank you, Willie Rich, Unstoppable Entertainment. Hello, and thanks for coming in. So, guys, on today, I don't know if you know of anyone that has a child that is different or with any type of special needs. I was just on talking about how I became the caregiver for my daughter, and how a lot of things that I had to go through to get to the point where I am with her. And it was not easy. And then just first knowing that you have a child that has a disability. Hello, Ty Gaskin. That's my son. I just want to say hello. How are you? I'm coming in today just talking about, your little sissy. And just to bring up Ty, Ty was a very good help when he was here helping her to maintain. So one day he can probably come on and talk about the fact that he, knowing that he has that peace and knowing that he has the patience to help take care of her and being in the home, and the patience that he had and all of my other children had to have with knowing that they have a sister with a disability. For Tyan and Tyrell, they were younger when KK, they didn't know until as they got older that she was different because she grew older than them. And just like I told you guys, my daughter was her disability is she's elderly mentally handicapped, which means she's educatable, trainable, but she can't comprehend too much at one time. She cannot read or write. And they consider that, even though she can't read or write, high functioning because she's able to take care of herself. But guys, being that, in this society where things are, there are going to be a lot of people that are ending up being caregivers, not just for a child or a person. I have a disability, but still trying to get through it. Thank you so much for saying that, because for my daughter and people I taught, my daughter, she was like embarrassed for a long time, to even say she had a disability, even though she was in a setting where people knew that. I was always told she was high functioning because she could talk. I taught her how to talk, to express herself, to be able to tell people things. And I'm so glad you came on today to say that, because there's a lot of people in our society that have a disability. And I thank God for all the platforms that are able to let them come on and express themselves and say who they are and be proud of who you are. It's a blessing that you can get on here and you can make videos and be able to take care of yourself and maintain. My daughter, unfortunately, she stays with me. She's never been in a setting where she's been by herself. And says, I am not ashamed. That's right. Because I think like this, God made each and every one of us in a special way. And we all have different things that we don't know that makes us different. And being different can be wonderful. And I think, like the Bible says, God made us wonderful. We're wonderfully and differently made so that we all can work and help out each other. So that's what I was talking about today. Like I said, my daughter's very, very verbal. She can talk and speak and everything. She doesn't have a problem with that part. She just can't, things she can't figure out. She doesn't know her ABCs and all that. And most people come on and say, well, why didn't you try to teach her? You can try, but it doesn't stick for her. It doesn't stay there. And the crazy thing about it is, if you turn on your radio and turn a song on, which is funny to me, is that my daughter, when every song comes on the radio. So when she was younger, I tried to teach her things through the music because she loves music. She can turn on the radio and know every word in a song. And it's just amazing to see her do that. But I think that they have certain things, weak points like any of us, and they have certain things that they don't know, weak points. Because we all to me have our strong points, and we all have a weak point. That's just all of us. But I came on to share it because I just like I tell people all the time, I'm an open book. I like to discuss what is going on in my life, how I am, the reason why I am the way I am, and the reason why I don't, be editing videos and stuff like that, because I am who I am. I'm not ashamed of who I am. I'm not ashamed of my daughter. It was at first, it was like when I found out, it was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I think that was the first thing for me, is what am I going to do? How am I going to deal with this? How am I feeling about this? And it takes years of time to realize that, it's not an easy journey raising a child. And sometimes you cry because you want your child to be here, but they're not there. And you have to accept them for who they really are. And the acceptance part was so very hard for me, trying to figure out, looking at this little child and going, why? We all are normal where we go, why? We all are human where we go, why me? Why am I like this? And I know everybody goes through that in their life. It's like sometimes when we're going through things, it's like, why are we going through these things? But I think God is too wise to I know God is too wise to make a mistake. He doesn't put more on us than we can bear. But in doing that, you have such an amazing channel that you can be an encouragement to someone else to tell them, Frank, about what's going on with you. So I am not, embarrassed anymore. Back in the day, yeah, but I'm an open book. I talk about things so that I can be a help to someone. It says, I don't tell people until they ask me. Well, it's kind of strange how they ask you because some people know. For me, I can tell when, a child, not so much as a disability, but I can tell if they're a little different. And that's the phrase I use, just the differences in them, right? Because people are so judgmental. That's probably why you don't tell them, because people are so quick to try to judge and put you here when you actually can be here. And that's what I think is so very important about social media, because you can go on and be who you want to be and be happy with being that person that you are. I am not ashamed of who she is, and I take my daughter with me. And if she asks me something, I talk to her about it. I explain it to her right there in front of people so they know. You're going to see so many different people in this world, and it's being able to smile and know that everybody have a difference. And that's why I say to everybody, God has a sense of humor, because while people are sitting judging, God knows exactly what he's doing. And I believe that he does not put more on us than we can bear. And he gave me my daughter, for a reason. And I always tell people that they really don't know okay. So I really try to tell people that, I know that God didn't put more on me than I can bear. I'm a strong woman. I'm a strong person for going through wherever I had to go through to get to the place where I am now. But I had to be strong in order that I can share the knowledge I have concerning my life and what I'm going through and what I went through in my life. I'm not ashamed of any of that, and I thank God that he allows me to come on my platform and talk to you guys about different things, because a lot of people wouldn't come on because they wouldn't want to share. They wouldn't want people to know exactly what's going on, or if they have someone in their life that's different. No matter where you go, no matter what walk of life you go through, you're going to see someone. And just for this weekend, I'll tell somebody, just go out. You're going to see someone that has a child that is different, that is trying to navigate and keep going through life and figure out how they're going to do what they're doing and how they're going to be able to keep their mindset where it needs to be. Because the mindset of taking care of someone is very, very hard sometimes, because it's not easy to be a caregiver and to be there, to get up in the morning and to do what you need to do. And then you have people that are bedridden, where you have to get them up and get them going and take care of them. Being a caregiver, you have to have a heart, and a right heart and mind to take care of them, because there are going to be some days when everything isn't going to go hunky-dory the way you think it should go. There are going to be some days when you may have to just walk away. With my daughter, I walk away. You got to tell her, you're not being nice to me, or you can't talk to me in that tone, or you can't say what you're saying to me like that. So that's how, I just wanted to come on today and talk about how I became a caregiver, not knowing I would be a caregiver, and dealing with the fact that we know a lot of people are now taking care of their children. They're keeping them home, but it was a time when people would facilitate them. So a lot of people, because my daughter's friends, some of them are facilitated because their parents did not choose to take care of them. And no, not putting anything or talking about anybody negatively, because everyone does not have the strength to take care of a child that is different. That's how I know that I am a strong person, because I am able to, navigate through. And I've been doing this for 31 years, taking care of my daughter. And it has taken a lot, for me to get to this point. But I had to learn that I've been taking care of children and my daughter for so long that I forgot who I was. So now I'm taking back to being the woman that I want to be, and more so what I want to be, and taking care of me and doing the things I need to make sure that my mental is okay, and that I'm caring for myself. Because in caring for myself, I'm helping to care for my children, or my daughter. I'm helping to care for her, because if I have the right mindset, that means she'll be okay and have the right mindset. That's why I love the mental health piece. Mental health Mondays is for me too, guys, because being taken care of and being a caregiver is a lot. You have to plan, you have to think things out. It's not like some people can get up today and say, I'm going on a trip, and I'm gonna go away for the weekend. I can't even think about going away for the weekend unless I'm thinking about how I'm gonna go away for the weekend. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with my daughter, which most of the time she's with me. It's not like you have that opportunity just to leave and do what you want to do because you got a whole nother person. We who have kids or we're caregivers, in our mind, we're always thinking about what we got to do. What's the next thing we have to do to make sure that they are being taken care of? And that's what a lot of people don't know. We can't. I can't plan going anywhere until I first make sure I have what my daughter situated and what she's doing. I have to make sure she's got this to eat. I got to make sure she got something to drink. I got to make sure she got the clothes she needs. I got to make sure she's changing her clothes right. I got to make sure she's cleaning herself right. It's so much with the caregiving piece. And that's why I say everybody can't do it because everybody isn't strong enough to do it. Because most of us can do it probably for like 18 to 20 years. And after that, it's like, okay, wait a minute. We're supposed to, this child's supposed to be gone now, and I'm supposed to be living my best life. And sometimes that don't necessarily happen. And when you have a family member, I thank God for all the family members that are out there that help and take care of a sister, a brother, a father, a mother, anyone that they're helping to take care of with the special needs. That is a blessing in itself. And I really, thank God for all the people that really do that, because a lot of people, they can't do it. They don't have the strength. They don't have the heart, and they don't have a loving heart. And they don't have the heart to take care. Not that they're against them. It's just that some people don't have that heart to take care of someone. And so it's best not to be like some people. I say nurses. Some people don't need to be a nurse in the field because they don't have the heart. They're there for the money. They don't have the heart to take care of people. They're just there for the finances. So that's why I say you got to find, when you have a child that's different, you got to find people, and it's so hard now to find people that are really going to be there for you and be able to help you and be able to help you take care of them. I rely a lot on family, and that's who I really deal with. But if you don't have family members that are there for you, it's really, really hard. You know what I mean? Because you really need that. And with the like something that was, I heard today, you need to have a backup plan. You got to plan. And when you have your caregiver, you're always planning. You're always trying to figure out your next move, how you're going to do whatever you're doing. So for me, a lot of things I have to do, like in the morning time, I do mostly everything because my daughter's going with her. She has a worker who comes to get her 5 days a week and takes her out, that's my time to really take care and do things I need to do in the home, making sure, I have plenty of food, all my clothes are washed, my house clean, dusting clean, which you guys know I like to do a lot of cleaning videos. So I have to work everything around her schedule also. And then when I do like wind down Wednesdays, I really have to take time out. And that's why I chose to take one day out. I choose to take one day out so that I can go out, talk. I mean, get my mind reset. I'm resetting some things on Wednesdays. I'm always resetting, and I'm always writing down something so that I can keep, like with my channel and stuff. I have to journal and I have to write everything down. And now I have I have a calendar where I write everything down because I have to write things down so that I can remember everything that I need to do. And sometimes, guys, I really don't remember everything because that I am the caregiver of her. I have to make sure she has what she needs. But guys, I am going to get off in about 6 minutes. But I was coming in to talk about how I became a caregiver, how, express to you guys the age that my daughter became special needs, became special needs, and the fact that, every few years she had to go in and be retested. And she hasn't been retested in about 15 years now, but they retest them to make sure that they still have that disability. I don't have a lot of people on today, which is no big. I believe that whoever comes and whoever comes and hears the word, what I have to say is very important. I thank everybody for coming out. And also those catch the replay, which is very good. But guys, I was on today just talking about how I became a caregiver and that I am a mom of a child with the special needs. And yes, guys, I think about things a little bit differently. I have to have a lot of patience and understanding with that piece of having a child that's different. And a lot of days it's not easy. And I have sisters that I talk to a lot about it, and my spouse, but I have my sisters I really talk. Sometimes, you're crying, you're upset about situations that you're going through. But guess what, guys? I believe that everything happens for a reason, and I believe that We all, go through different things in life, but that's why. And I just keep the mental health piece, and I keep the wind down Wednesday piece. That is very important to me. But that's what I wanted to come on today and talk about. And just like I told you guys, she's 31 years old. She's thriving. And I'll bring her back on one day, guys, so you can talk with her also and let you see her. She's a blessing to me. And I thank God for her because she keeps me going a lot of days when I'm down, when I'm not feeling my best. She has me laughing, or she'll say something. She'll tell me how much she loves me. And, that is really just a blessing in itself. So, guys, I'm not going to stay on. I'm going to give it about 4 more minutes. And just thank everyone for coming to hear me out today, guys. I got the sun coming back up, and I'm trying to, as you see that bright light I got coming in. So I'm going to try to turn this down so you guys can still see me, and turn this one on because my lighting, oh, there we go. My lighting is kind of terrible. But Awareness of Food Month. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate you. But I'm going to get on off, and thanks for coming. I appreciate everyone for coming out and listening to me today. And I just want to thank all my subscribers, you guys. You guys are so amazing. I thank God for each and every one of you. And I thank you for all my new subscribers. And I just want to encourage someone, to know that if someone, you never know what people are going through in their lives, you know. So, oh, I need it. You never know what the next person is going through in their life, and what they're having to navigate through. So just learn to be a blessing to everyone and try to do your best. And if you know someone who's having some issues, go ahead and try to reach out and try to help them, because that mental piece is very important to me. Also, the wind down Wednesdays, and that's why I try to express to everyone why I do some of the things that I do. The wind down Wednesdays are for me to wind down and think about some things I'm going through, and making decisions for the next week, and trying to figure out how I'm going to navigate through some things. And it's just very, very important to me that I have time to wind down for myself, because I am a caregiver, and because I am in the home, and I have a spouse, and we have a full life going on. So, guys, that's what I came on to talk about today. And I just wanted to discuss that piece with you guys. I'll be going live more. And if it's something you want to talk about, or you like what I'm talking about, guys, make sure you let me know so that I can keep coming on to, just let you know, because my life is nothing but an open book, guys. I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm trying to help someone that may be going through, help someone that may have a child that's different, help someone that may have an autistic child, and they're, not knowing how to process. And yes, at first you're going to go through the now piece. You're going to go through some things. But guess what, guys? You're going to be able to put some things perspective. You're going to figure out, and you make sure you pray, do your affirmations, and thank God for whatever you're going through, so that He can bring you out, because we have to move some things around so we can bring some more things out and be able to take care of ourselves first and foremost. And that's why you see me doing a lot of talking about taking care of and the self-help piece, because for me, this has been a lifesaver, because having someone different in your life and to care for, and sometimes you don't have time to do things for yourself, it makes a difference. So, guys, not going to stay on long. Just thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate everyone. Like I said, thank you for all my subscribers for subscribing to the channel. And I also thank everyone for checking out the videos. Thank you for liking the video, guys. You guys have been very helpful to me, and I thank you guys so much for all that you do. And just keep checking me out, guys, and just know that you are a blessing to me, and I will continue to pray for you, and keep you up in prayer concerning whatever you're going, your channel. And I just thank God that He keeps giving me content that I can bring to you guys that will be helpful, and just letting you know it's okay. Sometimes we got to let go of some things so we can bring some things back together. So, guys, not going to stay on much longer. I was just talking about raising my special needs child and having a child with disability. And also I was talking about how I became a caregiver, and raising my daughter, and still continually raising her, and just knowing that she is a blessing to me. So, guys, I'm not going to stay on. I'm just going to say thank you so much. And, guys, you make sure you're having a blessed day. It's Friday, guys. Make sure you enjoy your weekend. sure you do something special for yourself. Take some time out to love on yourself. Take some time out to love you. Take some time to figure out who you are. And at my age, I'm still figuring out who I am and what I'm doing with my life. And I thank God for it because He is truly a blessing to me. And He keeps continually blessing me. And I want to continue to be a blessing to you guys, just like you're a blessing to me. When I go to you guys' channel and I check you guys out, I'm trying to catch up with everybody's live. I have my notification bells on, but guys, sometimes the notification bell does not notify me each time that you guys are coming up. So if I go back, sometimes I don't see you on the live. I'll definitely catch you on the replay, and I'll also be playing a lot of your playlists. So guys, make sure you guys playlist up. I'll go back and check those out. And guys, I have my playlist up if you want to go ahead and check me out and play my playlist too, guys. So you can do that. But guys, I want to say thanks so much. I'll probably do a pop-up on Monday. I don't know how long I'm going to stay on, but guys, I'm going to be on more so that you can see me, so that we can continue to discuss some things and bring some things to the forefront. But just guys, one thing I want to remind you, take some time out for yourself. Take some time out to love on yourself. Take some time out, guys. Be blessed. Have a blessed weekend. And guys, I'll see you probably on Monday on the live. I don't know what time I'm going to go, but I'll put a notification up. Thanks so much, everyone. And you guys have a blessed one.